Here we are, the moment we've all been waiting for. Number 1 in Cleveland, which will always be remembered as the last game for Mr. Jacoby Brissett, who we all adore. And he gets to go up against his old boss. Would you consider first stringers the boss of second stringers? Is that a thing? Or our coaches are the boss? I guess coaches are the boss. But, I mean, quarterbacks can be more important than coaches. I mean, the owners are the bosses. I don't know. Football hierarchies, you know what I mean? Let's pull up the stats. It's just, the way this game went, it's funny. I turned it on. I'm like, okay, this game goes into overtime. This is exciting. And I'm watching the stats, and Nick Chubb is great. Schwartz 1 for 31 for a touchdown. Wonderful. Brissett runs. Brissett 2 for 27 is great. Amari Cooper, so good. Everything looks wonderful. And I kind of just completely forgot that Tom Brady was in this game. Like, he's been such a non-existent character, especially after you accepted that, the Buccaneers aren't that good. He's not, they're whatever. They're 5-6. They have a losing record. Yeah, they're top of their division, but their division's terrible, and I guess they'll sneak into the playoffs, which is insane. But, all right, whatever. But it's just funny to watch this game. It's like, oh, yeah, Tom Brady's in this game. Man, what's he been up to? Because I think they had a bye week recently. It just feels like you haven't really seen them play for a while. But what a game! Now, one story. I'm gonna start a rumor here for everyone. If you watch the highlights of this game, or you watched this game, or if you saw it on the news, someone got onto the Browns field and drove around it with a golf cart. So there's huge prints on the field during this game. You can see it's like goes right over Brownie the Elf himself. And I immediately and only could think that it was Baker. Right? Like Baker Mayfield, he was like, no, I miss recording those. No, it's not State Farm. Progressive? No, it's not Progressive. I miss recording those insurance commercials. Let me back in the stadium. By the way, what a funny ad. What a funny ad campaign to have like a second-year quarterback who looked pretty good, and then base it all around the team that he plays for, because everything takes place in the stadium, in the Brown Stadium. They just have to cut all those commercials. Like, if they didn't do that, they could have just kept plugging away at them. They could have just kept going like, no, let's go Baker Mayfield. Like, I wonder if they've ever had a spokesperson so bad, especially in sports, like a sports spokesperson of a brand that was like hyped up really high and then failed so miserably that company actually like went bankrupt. Like, we can't trust this company. They pick bad spokespersons. Either way, all that tangent loops back around to Baker is just so upset about what's happened to his career. He broke into the stadium. He still had the keys, like in the commercials. He still had the keys. He broke in and tore up the field, did donuts in a golf cart and to get back at the evil Cleveland Browns, who, by the way, look great. And when Watson's there, if he's the same old Watson that we remember, I mean, he's not really old, so he should be. I don't see any reason why not. Oh my gosh, they're gonna be so good. Njoku, Cooper, Chubb, Peoples-Jones, that offensive line. Oh my goodness. They just have superior players. They're just a good football team. Brissett looks like a star on this team. Sometimes. I know their record's not good. I know they haven't been good. I know they're out of the playoffs. They've already lost 7 games. But wow. And then, of course, we got Brissett's swan song. Touchdown pass to Njoku with 32 seconds left. Nick Chubb rushes a 3-yard touchdown with 19 seconds left in overtime. I believe it was I believe it's Tom Brady is the quarterback of a team. You just say Patriots, right? It was Bucks first, Then Browns get the ball. Then the Bucs get the ball. And then the Browns get the ball again. I think it was a really bad punt from the Bucs in overtime. Yeah, it's a 36-yard punt. That's bad. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. They drove down the field. They got the ball back with 2 minutes, 45 seconds left and drove down the field. I mean, there was plenty of punts in this. Oh, my goodness. Before the last touchdown, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 punts, as well as a miss on downs by the Browns. There were 4 punts. There were 3 punts by the Browns, 4 by the Bucs. Or 4 by the Browns. No. 3 by the Browns, 4 by the Bucs before the touchdown. And you thought for a second they got the ball back. And you thought Tom Brady was going to Tom Brady it. But apparently, Todd Bowles is going to Todd Bowles it and not call a damn timeout. On first down, he throws the ball short for a yard, and they let their 32 seconds run to 15 seconds. First of all, don't catch the ball. You gained a yard. What are you doing? I swear it's some sort of like some coaches and some players, apparently. Tom Brady's 45. I mean, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and I don't know what's going on here. But in animals, I'm going to go a little off topic here. In animals, there's a fixed action pattern, right? Some animals have to do something once they start doing it. And I feel like they always talk about, get that first play on the drive, on the 2-minute drive, and then call your timeout. But, like, you got to get that first play first. Like, get the first play. Well, you didn't get the first play, but then you still continued to try, and then you just kind of, and then you got the play, but you burned 15, 17 seconds off. It's like Todd Bowles is an old coach as well as Tom Brady's an old quarterback, and they're like, we can't do it any differently. We have to get the first play before we call a timeout. So they run the first play, and it's 1 yard, and it's like, oh, shoot, we should still try, though, because there's still time left and we have timeouts. Like, oh, no, I don't know. Okay. Well, we'll just leave some timeouts on the clock. That's fine. I know we had 3, but we'll just leave some and just waste half of the time that's remaining. Absolutely terrible. How the hell does that happen? Tom Bowles, it's tied. All you need is a field goal. And you get to Cleveland's 48 with 8 seconds left. But you would have had 17 if you called a timeout. This is not a situation, well, you have the hindsight of 2020. I have the hindsight of how time works. That's what I have. You know how time works? It ticks. And it goes until you call a timeout. Then it stops, unless there was an incomplete pass. This is basic football knowledge. Oh my goodness. But I'm glad, because it ended up with Jacoby's swan song. And I know him and Tom probably respect each other, because why wouldn't they? I mean, they played together. It's not like they were rivals. It's not like Tom Brady didn't want Brissett. It was more of the Garoppolo thing. It seemed like Brissett was just the third stringer in that year during that whole war between Garoppolo, Brady, Belichick, and Kraft. But I want to feel like there was like I want to beat you, Tom. I was your backup for some years. Now I want to win. And you know what? He won. He won. I mean, not because they didn't call a timeout, but, they didn't really give themselves a chance. What are you thinking? But Brissett, and especially connecting this game with the way he played against Buffalo and Detroit, he's going to get another shot. He's thrown some beautiful contested balls. And I know he's got Cooper, who's very, very good. And I know he's got Peoples-Jones, who it didn't look like he had a good game this week, but he's a good player too. And my. So, good luck to you, Jacoby. It was fun to watch you in Cleveland. And we'll see. We'll see where you land next. It's just one of these quarterbacks just not going to go away. And as long as he still loves doing it, he's just going to keep doing it. Next, maybe he'll be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll see. As it pertains to these teams' playoff chances, the Buccaneers are still one game ahead of the Falcons, and they have the Saints, who they can win and probably should beat, but I don't know. Besides this year, the Saints have kind of dominated them in the regular season. Maybe they'll continue. They're 2 games apart, or 1.5 games apart, not even 2. The Buccaneers then have the Niners, who they'll probably lose to, the Bengals, who they'll probably lose to, and then the Cardinals, Panthers, and Falcons. And I said this when we were talking about the Falcons in, what was that, number 5 of this week? Bucs-Falcons, last game of the year. To be decided at the time, because that could be Sunday Night Football right there. Tom Brady could be fighting for his life against Marcus Mariota, and then all the chats begin. Is he in? Is he out? We will see. The Buccaneers and the Falcons will be fighting for the playoff position, and they'll both have losing records. That's my prediction. As for the Browns, they're pretty much out of it. 4-7 in a much more difficult division. And, hey, Watson comes back. And when they extended the suspension for Watson, they obviously chose the game against the Texans for his return on purpose, right? Who gets an 11-game suspension? Who picks 11 games? At that point, just say, that's it. You're done for the season. Or like 12 games. I mean, the season's over, but they could not pass up the idea of Deshaun Watson going back to Houston. Tell me that's not correct. I'm not big on conspiracies, but I love starting them. I don't believe them, but I begin them. And the NFL decided that Deshaun Watson needed to return for the at-Texans game. This game that no one cares about for any other reason, because both teams are bad. And the only expectation, it would be amazing if the Texans win, but the only expectation is the Browns will beat the living crap out of them, because the Browns have a very good team. And I don't know why they're not better besides Brissett, but he looked pretty good, so I don't know. It feels like they should be winning more games. I feel like they're underperforming. Maybe it's the defense. I don't know. I haven't looked that much into it. I'm sorry. Either way, that is it for this week. What a wonderful overtime game. Barely made it out. This game had all the makings for a tie. And you know how much I love ties. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Like and subscribe, and have a good one.